Hello, everyone. Welcome to Clean Greens Living, broadcasting here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Queen Bree, in the building. It is a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We are going to get started on our fabulous show in just a moment, but right now we have a few announcements. Again, guys, it is election coverage here on Rainier Avenue Radio, with live broadcasts, debates, panels, and interviews covering this year's midterm elections. Please, everyone, tune in and be informed on who is the best candidate for us to vote for this year. Live here on Rainier Avenue Radio. And for some reason, I don't know, I just feel like I have to give this disclaimer every time. Remember, we are doing this live coverage to keep you informed and bring information and knowledge to you on who is running in these midterms. So please do not come here and vandalize our building. Please do not come here and be mean or rude to people who are here to talk about what they're running for and where they stand. We want to give you the best information in real time. So stay focused. We'll stay focused too, but stay tuned in for live coverages. Also, we're excited here at Rainier Avenue Radio to welcome on a new show called Outreach Today, which joins us Monday night, our Monday night lineup, starting this coming Monday, the 31st at 4:30 p.m., bringing a unique take on faith, hosted by Dr. Ray Hampton. That sounds interesting. A new, unique take on faith. I'm tuning in. 4:30 p.m. here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Also, it is the 63rd anniversary of the March on Washington, and we will be celebrating here on Rainier Avenue Radio the Community Awards live this Friday at 7 p.m. So tune in to Rainier Avenue Radio for live coverage on elections. Tune into Rainier Avenue Radio for the 63rd awards, the 63rd anniversary of March on Washington Celebration and Community Awards. That is a mouthful. This Friday at 7 p.m. And tune into one of our new shows called Outreach Today, which will be airing, is it live? Live on Monday. Ooh, live. So then you can ask real life questions. That's kind of fun sometimes. Anyway, we have more announcement, guys. I know this is a lot, but there is so much information and so much happening in our community. If you are looking for a back to school drive giveaway this Friday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., remember Saida and Seattle Housing Authority will be having their back to school drive at Rainier Community Center from 1 to 4. They will also have people there giving haircuts and braiding kids' hair. So if you want to make sure your kids is prepared, they have enough school supplies, they have the hair done, and you cannot afford it. It's free haircuts, free braids. So please join them at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then later on that evening, we will be celebrating the opening night of Teen Summer Musicals, Peter Pan, Rise. What is it? Rise, Ready to Rise. I am super excited. My children are part of this production. It is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They have a 2 p.m. show on Saturday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the shows are at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets on Acts on Stage. If you go follow them on Instagram or Facebook, you can get your tickets. They have a group deal where you can get 10 tickets, get 2 free. So if a group of you guys are going, put your money together and put that in a pot and get 2 extra free tickets. You guys are in for a treat. It is at the McCall Hall. This production is so amazing. They go all out. These kids are professionals, okay? I am excited to see this happening. Also, if you know a youth ages 5 to 19 who would like to be a part of our Clean Greens Youth Program, please send them our way. You can email us at blackdollarcleangreens@gmail.com. We learn about sustainable farming, eating healthy, community. If children are high school age, they get community service hours. So please send them our way if you know of anybody who's interested. And if you know of anyone who is affected by food insecurity, or you just want to make sure that the produce that you are getting is fresh, it is good, and it will not be recalled, please join us every Saturday at 124 21st Avenue, where we give fresh produce away from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also on Saturdays, but Saturday is the fresh produce giveaway. Sunday is another additional day to be able to pick up a bag if available. So Saturday is where you come. Sunday is where you can come and see if there's more produce to give away. All right, guys, I'm excited to have our guest come on. He's been on before, but he's coming on in with a different hat this time around. And we're going to be talking about more community elections and Black maternal health. So please, everyone, welcome on Nick Jeffries from Black Women Empowerment for Life and Liberations. Woo! Now, Nick, yes.
Thank
Hey,
you for your
Nick.
introduction. And
You're
thank you for all the
welcome.
amazing work you're doing in community. I really love your show.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate all the work that you're doing in the community. You be out here heavy hitting and getting the work done. So I appreciate you.
No,
And I know you
anytime.
gave me the short end of the name, but I wanted to give it its right production. But I do like the Be Well acronym of it. I think that is so cool. Can you give us a little bit of information about Be Well and the organization?
So Black Women for Empowerment and Life and Liberation is a Black feminist think tank, and it's a movement based in Seattle, Washington. And we pair rigorous research analysis with healing, mutual aid, and organizing. So Black women and gender non-conforming people of color can have both the ideas and infrastructure to lead. So we're currently right now working on our voter outreach efforts. We want to get people engaged and get people engaged in a way where they can build political power for them and their communities. Because so much of the conversation, especially from elected officials, is like it's talking about our communities, talking about Black women, but never talking with Black women and allowing Black women to be the ones to lead the change.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. And I remember seeing a couple of weeks ago how they had a room full of men talking about women issues and no woman, not black or white, in the room. So I appreciate your organization coming together. Can you just tell us, like, well, I mean, I kind of answered my own question, why that would be important to have these conversations in the room. Um, Specifically, how do you guys get in this community and get people's attention and buy-in to come and support you guys?
So over the summer, we've been doing a lot of voter outreach, and the executive director and founder of Be Well, Jackie, has done such an amazing job creating internship opportunities for young women, young Black women specifically. So we've been at a bunch of different community events, talking about our webinars, talking about candidate forums, getting voters registered to vote, and also collecting voter value surveys, collecting data, right? And I
Yeah.
think that data it's gonna be amazing to use to really talk to these elected officials and be like, hey, here's like things that community actually care about. Because like I said, so much of it is like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, but how can you think about 5, 10 years from now when you got to pay rent next week? The lights are getting cut off.
Period.
Black women are dying giving birth. Like people need to know that they're being heard, and the only way they can know they're being heard is if their needs and their wants are really uplifted. And so the cool thing about the voter value survey is we don't ask people for their name, email address, contact information, because we want it to be anonymous, because we want people to give their raw, unfiltered, even sometimes unhinged perspective on how things are, because that's what's authentic. And I think so much of the reason why I think our political system is the way it is and people become disengaged is because they don't feel like they're being authentically outreached to. They don't feel like they're being authentically engaged. They feel like they're being sold something
Yeah.
versus actually getting something for their vote.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. When I listen, this is why I love Jalen Scott, and I mentioned Jalen Scott maybe more than I should. I'm not swaying anyone's votes. However, this is what I love about Jalen Scott, because Jalen, like walking and listening to Jalen made it personal. Jalen is talking to the people, not just people who agree with her, but people who don't agree with her. So if you guys are able to follow Jalen, vote for Jalen on Instagram and keep up with what Jalen's talking about, because a lot of this stuff in these conversations that we're having today, Jalen is talking about as well. You guys have an upcoming event this Wednesday. Black Maternal Health highlights a critical conversation. How does prioritizing maternal health fit into the broader mission of Be Well? You need me to repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, can you repeat that? It kind of broke up towards the end.
Yeah, sorry. How does prioritizing mental health, maternal health, fit the broader mission of Be Well?
So if it's a broader mission, because Be Well at the at its base level is a maternal health or is a Black women's maternal health organization.
Hmm.
So what we want to do is make sure that Black women's stories, Black women's voices, and the reality of Black birthing people is uplifted. And I always say this: we need to be able to get everybody involved in this effort because it shouldn't just be Black women having to uplift their stories. It should be people of all demographics uplifting Black women's stories because Black women have uplifted all of us at one point in time.
So I hear what you're saying about it being everyone. So is this event coming up this Saturday? You want all involved? How can you get all involved? Because I feel like when you, and I'm not saying to change anything, I'm not. But when you say Black, everybody immediately like, oh, that's not for me. I don't have to show up. I shouldn't show up. And then when you say Black women, Black maternal health, how are we getting other people engaged?
The way I always say it is like when Black women vote, they vote for all of us. When Black women like do advocacy, they do advocacy for all of us. When Black women are doing like any sort of like a food giveaway, a back to school bash, any sort of community advocacy, Black women are including everybody. And I
Mhm.
always tell people it's really important that not only do we give back to Black women, but we make sure they're like at the forefront because a rising tide lifts all. And in this country, the most oppressed people are Black women and Black trans women. And once they're liberated, we're all liberated.
That is so true. I kind of want to venture off and just how do you get people to understand? I mean, your perspective, not the broader perspective. Because when we talk about Black women being oppressed, everyone's like, oh, I'm so tired of hearing about Black women being oppressed. How do we get that point across of how important that is to understand that we do the work? We are out here doing this. And you need to show up and support. How do you keep that conversation going for people who are just like, ugh?
Because I mean, I think when people disengage, I think the way I've learned to re-engage them is I'm like, one, you have to think about the history of this country. And the quote unquote father of gynecology was doing experiments on enslaved women without anesthesia. And that's where a lot of the medical knowledge comes from. It comes from the exploitation of Black women's bodies. And like I tell everybody, like the complete opposite of white supremacy is uplifting Black women. It's not. I mean, we can't fight patriarchy with patriarchy. We can't fight. We can't try and fight. I mean, we are a nonpartisan 501(c)(3), but you can't always try and fight capitalism with capitalism. The only way to fight these structures and create a system where everybody can benefit is by liberating everybody.
Nice. Thank you for that. Okay, and you guys are taking this to town hall up in October. Can you tell us a little
So
bit about that?
So yeah, so our last webinar series of August is tomorrow evening from 6 to 7. And it'd be wonderful. People can come and for people who attend, we will be mailing out these wonderful tote bags that say
Oh,
Be Well
nice.
on them and have our logo. It's incredible. And we will be doing a super secret, awesome raffle. And so that's the final one of the August series, but we will be doing more going forward. And so on October 17th, I mean, October 10th, we're going to be doing a candidate forum for the 37th legislative district at the McKinney Center, right here in Central District.
Can we go back, sorry, really quick to the webinar? Where can people go to sign up to do the webinar?
So you can go to Surge's Instagram.
Okay.
So the former name of Be Well is Surge.
Okay. So go to
So
Surge Instagram and then sign up for the webinar. Hey
yeah.
Deontay, I'm dead. Okay. Ignore that last message. Okay, so town hall, October, what was the date again? I'm sorry.
So we're doing one on October 10th at the McKinney Center, and then one on October 17th at the Eritrean Association of Greater Seattle.
Okay, nice. And these will be being I'm sorry. This is where we're bringing the information that you guys have collected with the surveys and then with the webinars, and you're going to bring it to town hall and have this conversation about it. How can people show up and support you guys in this mission and these town hall conversations?
So it would be awesome to have community come out and like volunteer. You could sign up to volunteer. You could just show up and bring your family. We will have childcare, so we want to make sure every community member can come. We'll be serving food, good vibes, and making sure people actually have a chance to interact with their candidates. Because I think so much of it is like I think so much of the issue with apathy is people just don't have a chance to see something or feel something tangible.
And with the candidates, do you see a difference in the change in their perspective when you or guys are bringing this information to them?
Yes, it depends on which one we're talking about, but like we're nonpartisan, and I don't want to sway anybody either way. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely there are some representatives and some elected officials who are way more able to receive the information that we give them, and then also bring it and also use it to impact the change they're making.
Nice. And then with the candidates that are kind of still, you know, rubbing their nose like, I don't have time for this. How do you guys? What is your suggestion for the people who see this and be like, oh, well, then what is the purpose of my vote for? And how do you guys get through to them, or do you guys just like, do you
So
waste time?
in I always tell people it's never a waste of time to vote, because like in Washington we you can mail your ballot in, you can and also you can register to vote and then vote the same day at the King County Elections Office in Renton. And also you can go down to the WAMU Stadium right in the stadium district and on election day and print your ballot, register to vote, and then vote there. So I mean, in Washington, it's like ridiculously easy to vote. So I tell people it's not like we're waiting in line for hours in the sun, right? We're not waiting in the snow. You know, we're able to mail our ballots in, and also only 38% of King County voted in the
Wow.
primary election, and 36% in Pierce County. And so I tell everybody, like, your vote's not a waste, because if you think about that, that means 38% of people are deciding, let's say for the primary, which candidates go forward.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about that, if you're part of the percentage that's voting, and if you don't like a representative stance, if you don't like the way they do things, if you don't like the way they talk to community, if you don't like the way they interact with community, don't vote for them. Vote for somebody else, but make sure that when you are voting, you're an informed voter. Like looking at the candidate's website, looking at the candidate's Instagram, making sure that you're showing up to these town halls, whether you're showing up to in-person town halls, virtual town halls, and making sure that you know these candidates in and out, because we live in a time where you can no longer vote for personality. You can't vote for personality. You can't vote for, oh, who has the greatest talking points, who's going to kneel at the Black Lives Matter protest, who's going
Yeah.
to wear a wear a kente cloth. You have to look at who's actually doing the work and look at their track record, especially if it's a representative that's been in office. Make sure you can look up their voting record. Make sure you see and like create a scorecard for yourself about what kind of things like matter to you, and then look at how that candidate has voted in the past, because the best predictor of future behavior is how they voted in the past. Look at who funds them. Look at who supports their campaign. Make sure you're an informed voter, because only through being informed can you make a decision that's right for you and your community.
Oh, I love how you said make a score card for them and to keep track of like what they voted for, who's funding them, because that also helps sway some of their thoughts and process and stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Because some people, we get a lot of people like, our votes don't matter. I'm not voting. They're going to do whatever they want to anyways. But you guys are out here doing the work, and we just really appreciate what you're doing. I don't know if we mentioned this, so sorry if I'm repeating the questions. When they come to when they come to town hall, will they be able to speak and have their voices heard as well?
So we're going to have a section during the town hall where community members can ask questions, like ask question, like ask, we're going to do audience questions, and
Hmm.
then we're going to have pre-made questions for the clients from the CIRCC, which is the greater umbrella of who we're doing the candidate forums with.
Hmm.
And I just think it, and also we're going to be sending candidates, interview questions before, so that hopefully in like, if everything goes right, we can have the answers to community's questions posted online for community members to see.
Nice. Can I ask a question? Why was it important for your organization to be non-bipartisan? Did I say that right?
So no, bipartisan, nonpartisan,
Bipartisan. Sorry.
nonpartisan. So
I'm
so
still
I
learning y'all
tell
too, so please
Oh no, you're
trust.
good. Don't worry,
Yeah,
don't
no,
worry, don't worry.
I just like for everybody to know because sometimes people don't want to ask questions because they don't want to look stupid. I'll be the one for you.
No,
I will ask.
no question is a dumb question. Right? I used to be a teacher. I would tell people all the
Well,
time,
no, just play it. Yeah,
no
I'll just
question
play
is a dumb question,
Huh?
right?
it. You're
I
right.
mean, there's a difference between like a general question and then like, you're trying to get to something question. But nonpartisan, it's important that people are not, I mean, especially community organizations are nonpartisan because of one, the power they hold, especially when they're serving community, and two, all we want to give people the information they need to be informed voters, right? We want to make sure people are able to come to their own conclusions versus me saying, oh, vote for that because I believe in this, right? We want
Yeah.
everybody to be able to come to their own decisions so everybody has more of a consensus and more of a buy-in. And also, it's like I always, my phrase is always like, I don't care who you vote for. I just want you to get out and vote. I want you to make sure your voice is heard. Of
Yeah.
course, I have my own political opinions, right?
Mhm.
But I don't always want to put those opinions into community. I want community to be able to make that decision based on the information that I give. But one thing we have been talking to people about is the ballot initiatives. So ballot initiatives are different. We're here at Be Well, we're telling everybody to vote no on all three ballot initiatives that are going to be on the general election ballot this year.
Do you want to go into why you're telling them to vote no?
Yes. So I was going to ask by the time to do that. So
Yeah, we have time.
okay. So for the ballot initiatives, there. Let me pull up the actual numbers so I don't get the numbers wrong. I'm
And
sorry.
remember, as we're talking about the, oh wait, we are trying to sway you this way. Sorry. But listen, you're listening to the information and then you're making your own informed decision. Okay.
Yeah, we want to. Yeah, we want to make sure. Yeah, we really want to make sure people are like
And
just
it should be,
informed because
and
it's
you know,
like people. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
What you gonna say? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say because the way these ballot initiatives were, were able to collect the signatures they needed to get on the ballot is because of misinformation and disinformation, right?
Hmm.
Like they hired like third party community members, or they hired people from other states to come to Washington to collect these signatures. And many of the people they had collecting these signatures, they specifically hired young men of color to go to community events and collect these signatures, knowing that a lot of times when we see a person of color collecting signatures, we our guards down. We're like, oh, they couldn't possibly be supporting something that is this, right? So
Yeah.
like for example, one of them's removing the millionaire's tax credit. So removing the millionaire's tax credit was put into place March 6th of 2026. And what the millionaire's tax credit does is it goes to fund no tax on hygiene products, diapers, and over-the-counter medications. And it's supposed to create free lunch for K through 12 students, and it helps fund an expansion of the working family tax credit. And so only 2% of Washingtonians pay that tax, but it benefits the rest of the 98% of us. And they were able to convince enough community members to sign that by giving them misleading talking points, by giving them, oh yeah, this is gonna affect you in insert way here. So
Mm.
that's what we're trying to also combat in our That's what we're all caught. That's really what we're also trying to combat through the webinars and combat through our community outreach is helping reach people who aren't always fully engaged in policy.
Yeah. And then they try to get you, like, as you're getting, they're getting you as you walk out the store, they're getting you as you go into a community event. So you're not really processing all the information or thinking or remembering when you get home to look up that information. We're running out of time, but I do want to thank you for coming on. And I want to just reiterate the dates that you have coming up and where people can go support you. So if you could just give us that information.
So the dates coming up, so important dates, tomorrow evening, 6 to 7, we'll be on Zoom. And if you go on our Instagram, you can register. You could register for the candidate forum. You could register for our webinar. And if you would like, you could register, be a voter registration outreach volunteer. And so all those things will be on our Instagram. And I want to give a shout out to the founder and executive director, Jackie, and also the artist behind the movement, Asia. They've been so wonderful to work with. They've really helped create Be Well into something that we're really doing the work and outreaching to community. And thank you so much for giving me this platform today. I really appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you for reaching out and asking to be on this platform. I hope we did them guys justice and that we got the information out that you guys wanted to get out. Please go follow Surge. Please stay focused and join the webinar tomorrow. Be as informed of what's happening in your community as we possibly can, especially as elections are coming up this November. So please stay tuned to everything that's happening. We just want to make sure that you guys have as much information you can. All right. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next Tuesday on our 250th episode. Wow. 250. Daniel said, my show is as old as America. So come on.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.